It is Tuesday, February 16, 2021. This is the Early Edge powered by SportsLine. I am the coach, and we are in your feed every single day, 7 days a week, 365, before 11 a.m., and we do it all in 10 minutes or less. The clock has started, coming off kind of a ho-hum 3 and 4 day because we embrace the winning and the losing here at the Early Edge. But we have good news because we have a winner out there that we'll get to a little bit later in the show from our YouTube watchers. So you want to stay tuned for that. But let's bring in our cappers right now for Bounce Back Tuesday. Right below me, you know him, M Squared. Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Ready for Bounce Back today for sure. Let's do it.
Boom. And 2 days in a row right next to him. He's the Zach Attack. Zach Simony, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. I knew I should have thrown out that USC Upstate play when that line moved significantly, but Florida State did get the cash yesterday.
That one was an easy one for us. All right, right next to us. Oh, don't look now. He had a perfect night. The Maestro. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. How much fun are the Utah Jazz? I mean, it's Clarkson and Royce O'Neal. I mean, they're just so deep and so much fun to watch, and I can't wait to see what the next line is for Utah.
It's going to keep going up. They're like 19-1 or something like that. It's like historic how good the Utah Jazz are right now against the spread. It's crazy. All right, but it's time, as you know. Storylines that affect the betting lines. M Squared, you're up first.
Yeah, we've got several key injuries to note. I think the biggest situation is going to be for the Denver Nuggets. They're going to be without Paul Millsap, Will Barton, Gary Harris, and PJ Dozier. And Monty Morris is now questionable to play as well against the Celtics. So watch that. That has major implications. Of course, Anthony.
All right, I think we lost M Squared there as he was giving us his storylines. We'll get him back. But, Zach, I know you're going to the Big Ten today. What do you got there?
Yeah, we've talked about Nebraska quite a few times here in the last week. After almost a full month of layoff, today they're going into their 6th game in 10 days, so many games. And they're going to play back-to-back against Maryland today and tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see how much they can stay in control in this game, or if they'll be in another blowout loss.
Well, I have a feeling that game is going to be one of the ones on your board today. We'll get to that. But before we get to our plays, this week again, we're giving away five year-long subscriptions to SportsLine, access to all the cappers, all the simulations. It's been killing. It's the best value in sports. Now, all you got to do, head over to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review. In your review, give us your pick to win the NBA Finals this year, then leave your Twitter handle. That's it. Apple Podcasts, review, Twitter handle, and you could win. Now, we do have a winner in our Perfect Parlay contest. I'll get to that in just a second. But Mikey is not back, so I'm going to do his picks for him as we get into it. But first, our SportsLine play of the day. In college basketball, Dayton, plus 3.5 over Rhode Island. On the side, it's a graded B play. It's from Stephen O., the man behind it all. Take it, Dayton, plus 3.5. That's our SportsLine app play of the day. All right, before we do Mikey picks, let's get into Zach's picks. Zach, what do you have?
We got one college basketball play today. UConn minus 5.5 playing against Providence. Sorry about that. Playing against Providence. They had lost 4 or 5 before a big win against Xavier this past weekend with their bench production. Scored 41 points with their bench. I look at this UConn team. They're going to be a top 25 team next year. And the good news is James Bouknight, not listed yet as going to play tonight, but there's a good chance that he will. I think you get this line now, and this line will move up to 6.5, 7 if he's declared that he will play tonight. Also, Pascal Siakam will be the NBA player prop today. Over 20.5 points. They're going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. Earlier in the year, he scored just 11 points. I think he's going to bounce back. Over his last 6 games, he scored 25 points per game. And here's a little nugget. Over his last 10 games, he scored below 20 points 3 times. Each time the following game, he scored over 30 points. His last game, he scored just 18 points.
I love little nuggets just like that. And just because I'm a great producer, look at the timing. M Squared is back. It's time for his picks. Go ahead. I'll give you a special. Give it to me.
All right, Coach, we're back, and I've got 3 plays today. I'm going to be taking the Pelicans as a pick'em against the Memphis Grizzlies. I like the way the Pelicans match up here. They are the better team in terms of offensive efficiency, not the better team in terms of defensive efficiency, but I like the pace of play in this game. I like the matchup for Zion. I like the matchup for Brandon Ingram. The Grizzlies are a little thin at guard, although they obviously still have Morant in play. But I like the spot here. I make the Pelicans minus 1.7. I was trying to grab this line early this morning at plus 1.5. It is definitely moving towards the Pelicans. I would grab it now. I think they close minus 1.5, which is going to be roughly where I have it in my simulations. And then for my next play, I mentioned the Denver Nuggets are incredibly thin tonight, right? So I'm going to be playing Michael Porter Jr. over 15.5 points. And I'm also taking his over on the assists at 1.5. That's going to be coming back at plus 185. So in the last 4 games, he has had to play an increased role, which that'll be significantly increased tonight. He's probably going to play 35 minutes tonight after playing only 28 to 30 in the previous games. He's gone over this 1.5 assist number 3 times. That he doesn't pass the ball much, right? But in this spot with the pace of play, the usage he's going to have, the minutes he's going to be having to play, I love this play at plus 185 on the over for the assists. And then again, over 15.5 points. I have his median number at 18.3 in my model, one of the biggest edges we've had all season.
I am jumping on those 2 right now. Actually, all 3 of those. All right, it is that time of the show. There's so many of you that watch on YouTube. Our audience is growing so fast, we can't believe it. So we started a perfect parlay contest, and we already have our very first winner. When one of our cappers goes perfect on the show, and you go to YouTube, you subscribe, you got to follow SportsLine on social media, but then every day leave your best bet. If your best bet hits and one of our cappers, any of them, goes perfect, then you have a chance to win a year-long subscription to SportsLine. So Quinn Callahan, you are our very first winner of our perfect parlay contest. We will reach out to you on social media and get you set up for that. And you can thank the maestro. All right, it is time. Mr. Larry, give us what you have today, sir.
Well, I want to check out what Quinn was on last night. But anyway, congrats to you, Quinn. And I'm going to go to the Big Ten for my first 2 plays. Zach mentioned the travel and the scheduling for Nebraska. Coming off their first Big Ten win, it was a thriller at Penn State. They blew a big lead. They kind of faded down the stretch with fatigue, but then they got a steal, got the go-ahead basket under a minute to go. First win, they're riding high. Now they have to go to Maryland, and Maryland has turned things around. Only 5-9 in the Big Ten, but that's because of their schedule. Their schedule was front-loaded. Now they have a way. They can still make the tournament. They showed against Minnesota 13-point win the other night, and I think they get a double-digit win over Nebraska, which is riding high, but there's a sense of relief now that they got that first win. And staying in the Big Ten, Purdue hosting Michigan State. Purdue up and down, up and down, up and down. This is an up game for them if they've been alternating. Michigan State could be without Rocket Watts. He's not playing well, but he is a key guy for them. And Purdue shot 2 of 17 from 3-point range against Minnesota in their last game. A tough loss. They're going to shoot a little better than that. Stefanovic has got to play better. His first 2 games back since COVID, he had a COVID pause. He's had 4 points and 0 points. He's a much better player than that. I think Purdue gets healthy and they win by, let's hope at least 6. I'm thinking 8, maybe 10. And then finally, Tulsa hosting Temple. Both teams sliding, going in the wrong direction. Temple's lost 4 straight. Tulsa's lost 3 straight. But if you look at Tulsa, they have some nice wins. They beat Memphis. They played SMU and Wichita State right to the wire. Temple's leading scorer, Damian Dunn, has a knee injury. He only played 12 minutes and didn't score last time. He might be out tonight. Even if he plays, he'll probably not be 100%. Tulsa coming off a rock bottom performance where they scored 48 points at home. This is a bounce back for them. I think Tulsa gets it done. I laid 3.5.
All 3 of those games for the Maestro start at 7 Eastern time tonight. All right, it's that time of the show. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. It's our recap. Let's start with M squared. He likes the Pelicans. This line is moving. Grab it now because it's going in the direction of the Pelicans right now. It's at a pick 'em. He thinks it'll close around 1.5, maybe even 2. Michael Porter Jr. with the Nuggets. A lot of guys out tonight, so he's going to have an increased role. Take Porter Jr. over 15.5 points, over 1.5 assists. That comes back at plus 185. The Zach Attack. He's on the UConn Huskies, minus 5.5, and Pascal Siakam over 20.5 points tonight scoring. Then the Maestro. He was perfect last night. How about 2 nights in a row? Maryland minus 10 over a fatigued Nebraska squad. Purdue minus 6 over Michigan State. And Tulsa minus 3.5 over Temple. And our SportsLine app play of the day, the Dayton Flyers plus 3.5. Take them, Stephen O says, right now. You've got your marching orders. Oh, I feel good about today. I feel good about today. Let's take every ticket straight to the pay window. For M Squared, for the Zack Attack, for the Maestro, and the Jeweler. Oh, live shows can be fun. This is what live looks like, everybody. Good luck. Remember, this is the only place for your daily early edge.